Hello, everyone. This is Aunt Carla, and I'm so excited to welcome you all to the Great Witch Lock-in of 2025. And I had been away from the Red Soul Flower, my Instagram page for about 7 months, and I missed y'all. It's true. What was different was I didn't have you all, and now that I'm back, I have some fun things planned. And the first fun thing is this Great Witch lock-in. But before I begin, I'm going to start like I used to, I'm going to start the way I usually start by pulling a card for the collective from the Art of Manifestation Oracle card deck from, what is her name? Jenny Florence. So what is the message that we have for the collective as we are coming together, a group, a community of a lot of familiar faces and also some new ones? We're about to embark on a season of commitment and growth and fun and some work too. So, what do we need to know? What do we need to know? That is the question I am asking of this deck. You've done nothing wrong. What a great card. You've done nothing wrong. Let me put my glasses on and I'll read it. So this card says, and it's 68 for anyone who is into numerology. 68, that's what, 14, then 5. So you've done nothing wrong. Whatever has taken place was out of your control and out of your hands. This card asks you to let go of any feelings of guilt or personal blame. This was not your fault. You've done nothing wrong. Ooh, let me put that to the side. You've done nothing wrong. Is anyone feeling that card? I'm feeling that card. Sometimes, yes, I see hands raised. It's like sometimes things happen and I don't know if it's because sometimes I feel like women are almost kind of socialized to take responsibility for stuff that we did nothing. Like it's not even our fault, but we're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," or "How can I fix that?" And we're so quick to want to fix something. We're so quick to take responsibility sometimes for stuff that has nothing to do with us. You've done nothing wrong. You've done nothing wrong. We apologize for taking up space. Yes, Ashley. Yes. Lisa Haupt says definitely resonated here. Rev Chandra, well, with the with the dumpster fire here, I needed to hear that. Yes. And Penny says feeling it. Rachel says this card is so relevant. I've been so anxious for several days and not sure how to shake off the situation. I've done what I can and it's on the other person now, but I can't stop thinking about it. Isn't that the worst, Rachel? I know what you mean. It's like I've done everything that I can and I really kind of have to let it go, but I can't. I can't let it go. Is there something else I can do? Is there something else I can say? Oh, because it feels that feeling of things not kind of being up in the air or not feeling calm. It really, that anxiety really gets to us and we feel like, well, I shouldn't say, I shouldn't put we on everybody, but sometimes it's like it feels like, you, the royal you, will do anything not to feel that way, even if that means taking credit or taking the blame for something you had nothing to do with it. So I'll tell you a little personal stuff, like my mother-in-law right now. Me and my mother-in-law are great. But her granddaughter and her daughter are having some issues. And my mother-in-law is like talking to the granddaughter saying, "Tell me what's wrong. Tell me what's wrong." Because she wants so badly to fix things. She wants so badly for things to be right. And her granddaughter's like, "This has nothing to do with you. I love you. This is between me and her." But, as a mom, as a grandmom, she just wants it to be fixed, and she will take any kind of responsibility if she feels that it will help. So I totally get that as well. Oh my goodness, Christy! We tend to think our middle name is I'll fix it. You're preaching today, Christy. Nakia says completely resonates and I need to turn it around. Yes, go with the flow, says Andrea. Um, Went from pandemic right into caring for my mom with cancer and still blame myself for not taking care of my business. Now I'm learning that I did the best that I could and the last 5 years were out of my control. Eva, that is so deep. Yes, there's so much that is out of our control. We all you can do is do your best. And when my mom was dying, someone recommended the book The Four Agreements. And I don't know if that'll be helpful for you. And one of the first things, it's like the best you can do is the best you can do. Some days the best is like an 8. Other days the best that you can do is like a 4, and you have to make peace with it. And we don't always want to hear that, but it is kind of helpful to know that we don't always have to have the answer. We don't always have to be the one to fix it, no matter how much we want. So, anyway, we will take that in because that's going to come up a little bit when we get into uh, more details about this lock-in itself. Um, Ashley says, my dad bounced when I was 8. I always wondered why I wasn't enough. Took me until my 40s to realize the fault is with him, not me. I'm awesome. His loss. Amen, Ashley. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And it takes us a while to learn those things, right? Right. Whew. I feel like we're all in accord now. Hey, Tanya, in your new place, or new for me anyway. So let's get started with my little thing here. Can y'all see the screen? Can y'all see the thing? Okay, the Great Witch Lock-In Activation Ritual, a season of focus, ritual, and reemergence, curated by Aunt Carla. That's me. And this is so meta because this picture that you can kind of see underneath the words, that's exactly where I'm sitting right now. So I'm like, wow, how meta, that's me. Anyway, we are going to, the purpose of, for me, my intention for this lock-in is to reconnect with this audience, this wonderful community, and to have some fun, for myself, and hopefully encourage you to do whatever it is that you want to do. So I hope that's helpful. Let me see if I'm checking the comments just to be like, okay, great. So I'm not Carla. Is there anyone here who's like, this is your first experience with me ever? Like you have never, you know, if you found me through TikTok or something, will you let me know? However you found me, let me know in the chat. Otherwise, I know that there's a lot of people who are, who are like old school. But you see, I've changed up my. Oh, hi, Carlicia. I've updated my description, so I am. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. But Rev Chandra, but you have been with me a little bit since Wendy's summit, so you're mine now. I mean, we share. So I'm 57-year-old elder witch, over 30 years of experience, Capricorn sun, Sagittarius rising, Taurus moon, undiagnosed neurospicy person. And you know what? I think a lot of us are. If you're not diagnosed, you might be undiagnosed. I know a lot of creative people who are neurospicy, and it's just neurodivergent and whatever that means. Some people don't like the term neurospicy, but it's just sort of like some flavor of neurodivergence, and you have a squiggly brain, and you do your own thing. Your brain isn't like step after step after step. So if that is also you, doing a lock-in like this with a group of people can be really helpful because we get to help each other out. We get to support each other. And we also get to do side quests. And I'll talk a little bit about that later. But if you relate, welcome. I'm a songwriter and musician, and I'm your biggest cheerleader because I want you to win. I want us all to win. And if I have any tools in my magical toolbox, I'm going to share them. And I'm totally excited about sharing them over these next 4 months. And I'm author of the upcoming Aunt Carla's Cookbook of Spell. So if you've known me, if you've been around since 2019, 2020, during the pandemic when we would get together and I would teach spells every Sunday and we would go on for hours and hours and it was so much fun. And I had always wanted to put out a spell book, but I just didn't have the time. So when I was away for these 7 months, I actually had the opportunity to go through all of those different master classes that I taught and to pull out all these different rituals and seals, and I made up a whole bunch more. So it's going to be it's a cookbook because I always think about magic as sort of like cooking and like being a chef. So I'm looking forward to that. Oh yes, the crayon coven. Yes, that's uniqueness. Yes. Okay, cool. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, what is a lock in? And it's basically a season of devotion or a season of commitment, choosing one focus and locking it in with ritual and a community. Before me, did anyone hear about like this great lock in? Oh, you found me on YouTube. Okay, thanks, Melise. Anyone? So, has anyone heard about this lock in on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok? Because never before me, I'm never before you. Ah, okay, okay. Because I was already planning to do a solo, like a one person lock in. Like I was already preparing to lock myself in. And then I started seeing all of these reels, people saying, "Oh, it's the great lock in of 2025," and blah blah blah. And I'm like, really? Oh, so maybe I don't have to do this alone. Maybe we could do this as a group. Maybe this is a great opportunity for, to get the band back together and to for some of us who might have been like not really working our spiritual practice, or maybe you're just missing it, or maybe people have been changing over the last year because there are people who are like deep into spirituality during the pandemic who are doing totally different things now. And that's life. People move on, and that's totally, totally cool. But there's still other people who are like, oh, I really miss that. I really want to do more of that. Are you doing anything? So the answer is yes. Yes, this is definitely a find your tribe kind of time. It's the anti-rapture. Yeah. Today was supposed to be the rapture, I heard. I heard like at 12 o'clock, but we're still here, so I don't know what that means. They left us behind. No rapture for us. Let's see. Let's see, make sure I got everybody. Just Googled the Great Witch Lock-In and it mentions red soul flower in the blurb at the top. Well, hopefully it's because I made it up because I only heard about the lock-in and then I'm like, oh, why can't I make it witchy? So then I called it the Great Witch Lock-In. Like, like, oh, I'm gonna brand it for the witches. I don't know. It sounded like a good idea. Um, oh, wow. Chandra says, I'm in Texas and I did see people standing outside looking up. I would imagine in Texas that that would be a thing, and then people might be disappointed if they didn't like just disappear. But for the rest of us who are here, we are locking in. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So now, for when I was talking about this lock in, go back for a second. I said it's choosing one focus and locking it in with ritual and community. So I want to ask you, what do you want to focus on? Everyone is doing their own thing. This is not like a one size fits all. This is a choose your own adventure. Would anyone feel like telling me or telling us, sharing in the chat, what do you want to focus on? Is it, money, um, going back to school, losing weight, being more healthy? You have let's see, it's almost October. So let's say October, November, December, 3 months to really hone in on one area of your life. What is it going to be? Because I know some people are like, well, I want to do this and this and this. And like, we're not doing that. This is going to be one focus. It's a choose your own adventure, but it's choose one adventure. Finishing the first draft of my novel. Okay. Trading. Financial stability while getting a job. Okay. Focused on getting, oh my gosh, wait, focused on losing weight, helping a friend get a book publishing company up and running. Okay. Working on growing my creative wellness biz. Yes. Repairing my credit. That's woo, yes. Getting strong, all caps. Hey, Carlene. Getting a new home, mental reset to write my book, finishing a certification that I've set aside, money. I'm getting back into real estate after I sell my house, financials, and growing my business back. This is fantastic. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It's like you can, if you want to do a multitasking, multi-hyphenate thing, you can do that in January, no problem. But if you, in your heart of hearts, get that opportunity to say, okay, I just need 3 months to get ahead, just to get myself together. What is it that you want to do? Like, because really, a lot of times we just need to be able to focus. We need to just be able to put on our blinders and just do that one thing. Saving money, second job, locking in and moving forward with my creative abilities. Get up and do it, witch. That's right. That's right. Now, speaking of money, there is a woman. I forgot she's a. I know of. She's an accountant. She's a money witch. She's not the money witch, but she is a money witch. And we were talking about having her. I don't know, like do some kind of live stream or a podcast, and so I want to find out like what people want to know from her. So, because she was saying if people want to, invite her to the lock-in, let her know. And I said, oh, okay. I would be happy to, like what. So if you have any money questions, let me know, and then I can set up something so she can come and share her knowledge with us. Okay, yeah. Because I know we always want to know like the money part, right? Like, how do I get this right? How do I fix my credit? How do I make more money? How do I save the money that I'm making? Money is just such a foundational thing. So I definitely am excited that Karen Gargiso, that is her name, I'm excited that she has stepped up to to be involved. Create a revenue stream that is creatively aligned. Yes. Return to a regular running fitness routine so I can run a marathon next year. Yes. Yes. Any knowledge would be awesome. Okay. 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 Karen is always interesting. Yeah, I love her. She's really, really great. So, okay, so this is good. So I just want to kind of get a feel for what people are interested in, because before we go today, we're going to lock it in, with a ritual. So I just wanted to make sure that y'all are ready to lock in. Even if you're not really sure if you want to lock in, but you just want to see what everything is about, that's fine too. Releasing blocks and spiritually aligning with wealth. That's always good because it's always mindset stuff, right? So, which actually leads to the next question, Andrea. Why do you think you haven't achieved it yet? This is a deeper question. You can, if you don't feel like answering it, you don't have to. But the thing I've noticed is those things that we want, we didn't just start wanting it. We've probably wanted it for a while, but for some reason, something got in the way, life got in the way, an ex got in the way, whatever that is. Andrea was saying, "Oh, look, wow!" Now everyone's like, because Andrea had said releasing blocks. It's like there's mental blocks that are keeping us from doing what we want. Fear of failure, consistent health. Oh, no problem, Aurora. Prioritizing other things. That is so deep right there, because there's like, I really want to do this thing. I really want to write my book, but I need to make sure that I have money coming through so I can write that book, because I can't really write the book if I'm worried about the money. So it's life is life, and procrastination, exhaustion. I didn't think I deserved it. I hear you, Jess. But yes, you do. If you needed to hear that. Action needed. My mother's voice in my ear. Can you actually make a living on this? It's not like you'll be a world famous author, etc. Those voices, man. Whoo, those voices. It's really hard to shake them, right? Um, I'm at the very beginning of my spiritual practice. After 6 years, we finally have two incomes. It took a while to get there, right? And before that, you were just kind of like trying to make things happen. So I understand that. Low spoons from a former job. We definitely want to talk about low spoons. If you're not familiar with the term, spoons is like energy or capacity. Sometimes we don't have the capacity to do these big, massive actions. Well, one of the things that we will be doing over the course, or one of the things I'll be sharing over the course of this lock-in, that I have activities that you can do if you have low spoons. Like if you're feeling like, okay, I want to do something, but I really, this is a low spoon day for me. It's a low energy day. I have some other things that you can do that will at least move your mind forward. So that's definitely something to think about. Um, Carlisha, I wasn't putting too much energy into it because thinking about it makes me sad to see how bad I let it get. You're going to have to forgive yourself, Carlisha. I understand. Fear of being seen, judged, and ostracized. Ooh, it's that thing like, what will other people think? What will people say? Will they make fun of me? Um, I keep giving money to my sister and husband so we don't lose everything. Yes, yes. My negative self-talk is also my mom's voice too. I think that's what this says here. I think a lot of self-talk are voices from other people. Like we didn't grow up, I mean, we didn't come out of the womb with those voices, with that negative self-talk. They often came from someone else in our life. And we haven't yet identified who it was, or we haven't been able to learn how to turn it off. Those are important. They're not, the voices are not important, but it's important to know that the voices that you hear, that negative self-talk, it's not from you. It's not you. It's some external source. So sometimes figuring out who that voice is and kind of tell them to shut the fuck up, sometimes it helps. Not prioritizing me. Fear of failure. I have this as well. I have this fear too. Fear everything and raise. Fear everything and raise. Got it. A lot of the same things already posted. Raising a son. I'm sure. Helen, I mean, raising a son takes all your energy, all your like blood, sweat. It's like, how can you do all these other things when you're trying to raise a man, right? You're trying to raise a child. That's a lot of energy going out. So it kind of you feel like, well, that's a priority. And I'm not saying that those things aren't going to be a priority, but one of the things we want to talk about, or we want to definitely work on over these next 4 months, are how to find ways around these obstacles, because I want us to acknowledge that we all have obstacles. We all have reasons, really valid reasons, why it's difficult for us to do certain things. So that means part of this lock-in includes figuring out how do we work around it. If you've heard of the term spiritual bypassing, that's when you're like, oh, just think happy thoughts, or oh, love and light. That doesn't work when you have family members in the hospital. That doesn't work when, when your kid is suspended from school. Like none of that works. So it's up to us to create strategies to be able to bounce back from those things. So this is why I'm even starting. Like we haven't even officially locked in yet. And I'm already talking about, well, why do you think you haven't achieved it yet? Not because not because I don't think you can do it. No, of course not. I know you could do it. But we all have this. We all have these things that get in our way. So part of the lock-in is preparing for these things so that we can find some strategies to work around them. Oh, you're going through a tough time with your son right now. I'm sending hugs. Yes. All right. So we'll table that. We're going to keep going. So, what is the Great Witch? The Great Witch Lock-in? We talked about a lock-in, but the Great Witch Lock-in, it's a 4-month magical container, and in which we will focus, transform, and reemerge. And that means we're going to have, because it's magical, we're going to have rituals and tools and community to help keep you on track. So when you see people on, when you see like these YouTube videos, you see plenty of them on YouTube, the Great Lock-in, or later on in the year, it'll be the Winter Arc. They'll talk about you go disappear, you focus on something, and then you come back emerged. Yeah, that sounds great and all, but it sounds very monk-like. It's very solitary, very hermit, and that's fine. But there's also something very powerful about doing it in community and being able to support one another. But most importantly, we incorporate magic. We incorporate our spirituality, whether that's, rituals or spells, herbs, whatever your flavor of witchiness is, it is welcome. So we're not just putting the work in on the mundane, because this is definitely very much a mundane process, but we're adding another layer of magic, and that is the difference. So I'll give you a quick little timeline of what we have going on. So September 1st to 22nd was creating a space to transform. So this is when I was first telling everybody that this is what I had in mind. I want to do a lock-in. I want us to focus on stuff between now and December 31st. So I didn't want you to just jump into it. Like that never works. I feel if you saw my example about the time I tried to join a gym, and I went to the gym and I did all of the things, the legs and the arms and the abs, and I was so sore the next day I never went back. So we want to lean in. We also want to make space. This is also what I call making space to receive. This means you have time. You have time to think about, as I just said, what are the things that are getting in your way? What are the things that have gotten in your way in the past? Who are the people that you need to avoid? Because we all have somebody, at least one person. We have someone who we need to kind of distance ourselves from, someone who might be just a little toxic. Now, there's people that, especially if we're talking about family, for example, it's difficult to separate yourselves from family. But let's also think about what strategies can you use to kind of distance yourself. And for those people who are truly who you can avoid. Sometimes we know that someone's avoidable, but we kind of stay around because we can. Well, I wanted to give us time to really think about that. Who are the people, who are the people that we need to distance ourselves from? What are the activities that we need to kind of pay attention to? That could be anything from, scrolling your phone for hours, or it could be like eating all this food that's not working for your diet, et cetera, et cetera. We want to clear the distractions and align with our desired outcome. We want to make sure that we're being honest with ourselves. So that's why we have this time at the beginning. And then today, this is the live activation ritual. We're going to lock in together. We're aligning with the autumn equinox and the eclipse season. So all of this really great energy is going on. And also for the Jewish faith, it's Rosh Hashanah, the new year. So there's like all of this spiritual energy that's really strong right now, and it's a fantastic time for us to tap in. And speaking of, the eclipse was a new moon solar eclipse in Virgo. And that was the second new moon in Virgo of this year. So two new moons in Virgo, just back to back, it gives us all this reset energy, all of this course correction energy. So this couldn't have happened at a better time. So yes, it's a spiritual vortex. Perfect. That's exactly how I would describe it. So once after today, then there's other milestones or other different kind of high points that we will hit. And I like to work with the energies that are present. I like to work with the astrological seasons because each season represents a different kind of energy. So let's say, you've created after today, you've you've set your intention and you have decided to lock in. So a month from now, we're going to be in the new moon in Libra. Like the sun is going into Libra now, but the new moon in Libra will be around October 20th through the 23rd. And that will be the balance reset. And what that means is, let's say you do go hard. Let's say you're like, okay, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Or maybe you're not doing this and doing that. Like what are your activities? And for new moon in Libra, which is about the scales, it's about recalibration. It's about checking in with yourself and asking, okay, how have I been doing in the last month since the activation ritual? So we take a moment for the new moon in Libra and we get to reset. We get to say, oh, okay, what's working? What's not working? What am I going to start doing? What am I going to stop doing? So it's not just going whole hog and not paying attention to what we're doing. We want to take little moments where we review and then we make decisions and then we adjust from there. And if you are a VIP tier member, because I have a VIP tier member, a tier, VIP tier, on Wednesday, October 23rd, we're going to do a future you meditation for the Libra new moon. So the future you is when you imagine, if you imagine this lock-in, this experience happening the way you hope, and you woke up on January 1st, 2026, and you look back at this time and you think, wow, I did it. I did whatever it was that I needed to do. Imagine connecting with that person, that January 2026 person, or even January 2029 person, that version of yourself, the person who has achieved that goal, who has manifested whatever that was that you desire. What if you could connect with them and get some kind of feedback, some kind of support? That's why I like the Future You meditation. It's basically just a guided meditation where we go connect with your future self, and then you ask them what you need to know, and then you come back and you proceed from there. After that, we have November 18th, 19th. That is the deep dive for the new moon in Scorpio. So for new moon in Scorpio, we're shedding shadows and we're recommitting to the transformation, because we might be all gung ho now, but how do you think you might feel in November? You might be like, no, I guess. The whole point of having these little touch points is making sure that we still feel the way that we need to feel, that we're still on track. So similar to the new moon in Libra, we're doing a future you meditation for the Scorpio new moon. So if you're interested in that, the VIP tier is available. After that, December 17th through 20th, then it's going to be the new moon in Sagittarius. So that's when you get to zoom out, celebrate growth, and aim towards your future path. And then December 21st is the live closing ritual, reveal, review, and reflect. So that's going to be on the winter solstice. And we're going to share our journey. We're going to talk about our transformation and prepare to carry that magic into 2026. So that's basically how it's set up. Now, in between, I will probably be doing a lot of stuff in the Facebook group. And if you're not in it, you can join it. Otherwise, I'm going to be posting stuff on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So you do not have to join the VIP to get everything. But the VIP, I have kind of like I have a Notion hub where all of the information is kind of organized neatly. So if that's something that interests you, it's available. So, does anyone have their what do you call it? The composition notebooks? Anyone have their composition notebooks? Yeah. So if you have them already, this is the seal of focus. So this seal of focus is the official seal of the Great Witch Lock-In. Ah, good. Yes. So it's the official seal. And just to give you a little background of what it means, of what it's sacred geometry. The padlock, it represents commitment. You're locked in on your goal and you're locking out distractions. The spiral, see there's like a spiral keyhole. The spiral represents growth and it's also a portal. It's a symbol of life unfolding and it's the doorway into transformation. And the keyhole, it's access and alignment. So focus is the key that opens this path and activates your becoming. And it says, and we say together, all of these elements create a seal that reminds you your focus is sacred. It's protected and it's the doorway to transformation. So this is going to be a tool that we use during the uh, lock-in as well. And the kind of mantra here is through focus, the door to transformation opens. Focus is so important for anyone, but witches, magical people, spiritual practitioners, we need to be able to focus on something to complete it, to see something to fruition, to overcome the obstacles. So I wanted to create a really easy to draw symbol that you can use a lot. And the more you use it, the stronger it is. And if all of us are using it, that also makes it more powerful. So one of the things that you can do with your seal of focus, you could draw on the first page of your commonplace book, your uncommonplace book. You can draw or carve it on candles. You can draw, doodle, or paint this seal whenever you need to refocus. So here's my uncommonplace book. I just drew it on here when I first got the book, before I even did any artwork on it, before I even covered it up. That was how I guess just there's all these different little activations, but this was like one little easy activation. All I did was I drew the seal of focus and then I put like a little candle on it. And that was it. Has anyone has everyone drawn the symbol on their uncommonplace book yet? We're going to do it in a second if you haven't. I just want to know. Okay. Because it's also a really quick and easy thing to do. So, for example, I took a bath. I took a bath the other day, and this is a what do you call these things? A tea light candle. So it's not melted yet. It's not hard yet. I don't know if you could see. Anyway, oh, there you go. You can see it right there. So it's like I don't have to do a whole big ritual. I know that, all right, well, I'm going to take a bath or I'm going to take a shower. I'm just going to light this candle. I already have the seal on there and I just use it every time I've been going to the bathroom, every time I, go bathe. And it's just like a quick and easy symbol. And every time I draw it, every time I look at it, my subconscious is already knowing like, oh, okay, we are getting into that focus. So it's also psychology for any of my psychology fans out there. It's just a tool of repetition to remind you to focus and to kind of get yourself in the right mindset. So you can also draw, doodle, or paint the seal whenever you need to refocus. Oh yes, Penny, yes. So when we get to the activation part, all you need is a piece of paper, and because I figured not everyone would have a book yet. So if you can draw it in the air too, Penny, but if you have a piece of paper, that would be great. You could just do it with a pencil or a pen, and then if you get a composition book, then you can like glue or tape it into the book later. All right, the Uncommonplace Book. It's basically your vision book of shadows. It's a living grimoire of transformation where every page serves your becoming. And it's a place to write, draw, paint, and collage. My very first Uncommonplace book, I didn't do any drawing in. I've only recently been getting into doing drawing and stuff. So I want to do more of that. You do not have to do any painting and collaging if you don't want to. But it's kind of fun, kind of fun. So I have been taking all these pictures of that's what it looked like, and this is what it looks like now. But I bought some more stuff to put on the cover. So this is gonna look even it's gonna look even more fun when I get through with it. I got like these little rhinestone gems that I'm gonna stick on there. Just you wait. Um, yes. Eva says art is my side quest. Yes, and we're definitely gonna be doing side quests because you know it gets boring after a while. But we'll talk about side quests in a bit. But yeah, I like art, so and I'm not even like this great artist or anything, but I've just been enjoying coloring with crayons, learning how to paint with acrylic paints and watercolors. It's really nothing fancy at all, but it's another way to use the other side of your brain, the creative part of your brain. And it's also important to me that you find the fun for you when we're doing these next 4 months, because if all you're doing is like, oh, I have to do this thing, blah, 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 that's not going to be any fun. And you are so going to you're going to lose interest. So we definitely want to talk about side quests and doing some other fun things because balance is key. Um, so once you have your Uncommonplace book, um, I'd like you to draw the seal of focus. You could draw or paint a portal page. I did one of those. Oops. Let me just show you what mine looks like. Set your intention. These are different things. You do not have to do all of these in one day because actually I have a whole bunch of them. So when I mentioned earlier that if you're having a low spoons day, let's say you don't get to actually take a solid action, but you might do one of the daily sparks, and that will also give you a feeling of accomplishment, or at least put a smile on your face because you're doing something towards your goal, towards your desired result. But some of the things I'd say are the most important, like to start out with. So we activate the book with the seal of focus. We draw or paint a portal page, and the portal page is kind of just to represent where you're going. You set your intention because you got to have a goal. But think about what will you start doing, what will you stop doing, and what will you continue doing. That's a journal prompt of sorts. So I want you to think about that and put those in your this again, these you could do one of these a day, or if you're feeling, but I got more actually. I have about 30 sparks at least, and I keep adding to them. So I also have a tarot slash oracle spread for the lock-in. So you'll be getting that as well. Sensory details, another journal prompt. Ask yourself when you're if you're when you are successful on the other side of the lock-in, what does that look like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? What does it smell like? I really want you to dig in to those sensory details. And then I also want you in the part 2 of that, I want you to identify which senses are the strongest for you. So for some people, they know that they're more visual. I know, for example, I'm more auditory. So things that I like, how does something sound? For someone else, it's how does something feel? So when you think about what is it like, what is life going to be like when you have your money, when you have your finance straightened, or when you repair your credit, what is that going to look like? What is it going to, what is that going to be like? I want you to take the time and think about those sensory details, because that's also going to be a, a peek inside what is the most powerful for you. I'm not going into all the details today, but just know I want you to think about how to find your most powerful self. And tapping into your primary sense is one of the ways to do it. I have a shirt that reads "Practice Stitchcraft." I love wearing it to the grocery store after church lets out. You're funny, Ashley. Ah, let's see, Stitch Witch. And affirmations. Affirmations is another one. Now, when you were thinking earlier about the things that aren't working for you, I would like you to consider creating affirmations that are the opposite. So instead of "it's so frustrating to try to raise money," it's frustrating to make more money, you can turn it around and say something like, "it is easier for me to make money." Or if that's too much of a stretch, you could create an affirmation that says, that's more of a bridge. I am finding ways. I am finding ways to make more money. Like, it doesn't have to be "I am rich." Like, if you when you find yourself, "I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire." That doesn't always fly, because on your brain on some level is like, you're full of shit. But what if you're saying something to your saying when you're talking to yourself, saying something to the effect of, "I could be a millionaire. I could learn how to be a millionaire. I'd enjoy being a millionaire." Like, or "I enjoy being a millionaire." Like, how can you create bridge thoughts that take you from where you are or were to where you want to be? So this is just a little taste of what we'll be doing, what will be going in your Uncommonplace book. But I'll also show you my portal. I did a collage. So this is like a castle. So the castle is sort of like the ruler archetype, and you can't really see all of it, but this is like here is an art gallery, art studio. It's an art studio. There's over here, there's like music, and there's a unicorn here. There's grass here at this side where my finger is. And this is more art, like it's like stained glass. And this is a labyrinth or a spiral. So it's like balance. And then I have the word virtuoso because I want to be really good at what I do. So for me, like, my intention, I want to do more art. I want to do more creative stuff. I will always be a teacher, but I want to have more fun, and I want to create content that also reflects my life outside of witchydom, So I write, I sing, I do other stuff, and I want to feel comfortable, because I feel like nobody wants to know that. They don't, who cares? Just give me my spell. But I'm at the place now where, we have AI. If you want to find a spell, you can find spells. You want to know what herbs works for something, you can find that. So now I'm like, let me bring more of me into the equation. And if you don't like it, then I guess, I'm not for you, and that's okay. So that's kind of like where I am. Yes, the portal page is things that light you up about your intention. Yes, yes, yes. So if you do it, and the thing is, your portal, you could just do just a circle. I had taken a I had taken a collaging workshop, so I already had it in mind. But in my mind, so this is a portal. So I cut this open, and then I added the things that I wanted to see. So for you, what do you want to see? Can you find pictures that represent what you want to see? So if money was the thing, so if you had the money that you wanted, would you be going on vacation? Would you see, or would you have, would you be buying more? You'd be updoing your wardrobe. Would you travel? Like, what does that mean for you when you think about where you want to end up? Your portal page is a really great way of just kind of being creative and thinking about, what do you want more of, and what do you imagine that you will have more of as you find your way to your desired outcome. Okay. So now, if you have been in my, if you're around for the pandemic, um, you've probably heard me talk about the ritual that I used to attract my husband. And I talk about it a lot. I remember somebody was like, okay, fine. I mean, I even got a comment once. Someone was like, okay, fine. So that's how she got her guy, you know? But the thing is, I didn't even really realize it, but there was a process. And it's not that I was bragging about the fact that I got what I wanted. I was marveling at the fact that it worked and it can be used for so many different things. And that is what I want to show everyone. That's what I want to teach everyone. If you get nothing else out of this lock-in, this ritual is kind of like chef's kiss for me. So I gave it a name, the Keystone ritual. And I learned today that this is a keystone. This is an architectural thing. And it says, like a keystone in an arch, this ritual is small but essential. Over time, each repetition strengthens the structure of your transformation until your focus becomes unshakable. I've always been a fan of baby steps. I'm always about the baby step. It's not about I'm going to do all this stuff and then I'm going to lose weight. It's never going to work that way. It's about what's the baby step you do today, the baby step you do tomorrow, the baby step you do the day after that. By these little teeny tiny steps, you begin to build momentum. And once you begin to build momentum, things start to happen. Things tend to take less energy than they did at the beginning. So, for example, they say that if you are like a rocket or a plane, they use most of their fuel at the very beginning because getting started takes a while. You know, anyone who's ever tried to start a diet, you know, or a new exercise routine or saving the money or just, you know, just like, it takes a lot of energy. So instead of trying to fight against that, let's work with it and have something small. So this here is my first Uncommonplace book. I didn't know that's what it was. I've had enough time now with my time off to realize how powerful this book is. I didn't know, but now that I do, I want to share. So, for one thing, this uncommon, there's no artwork in it whatsoever. There's no drawings, there's no collages, there's nothing like that. So if you feel like, well, I don't really feel like doing any artwork, you don't have to. I did create a video for YouTube that I break down all the stuff that I was going through in order to, and how I discovered that it worked. But basically, I was in a relationship in 2014, and it wasn't a good one. And I knew that I wanted to be in a better one. And actually, I wanted this person to be, you know, my person. That's not how it worked out. But what I did was I had these affirmations. I would read them. I would light a candle. Let's see, I would light a candle. I lit the candle. I played Vision of Love by Mariah Carey. I read the affirmations, and I kind of felt the feeling of what it would be like to be in a relationship like this. And then I blew the candle out. It did not take long. I did it like in the morning and at night. And you could do it maybe once a day. You don't have to do it day and night, but I was kind of obsessed. I'm not gonna lie, I was. And about 60 days later, I got bored and I let it go. And that's when, you know, the magic went on and did its own thing. And the other part of this book, what I did do, there were books that I was reading about relationships, about quantum physics, about attracting a specific person. Like there was a book that was like how to use the law of attraction to how to use the law of attraction to attract a specific person. Now I know they tell you not to. I know, but who listens to those things? Nobody listens. You know, when you're young and you want what you want. I still wanted it. I wanted a specific person, but I still didn't get that. But I did everything I could, or everything I thought I could. And so every time I read something that was in alignment with me getting what I wanted, I took notes about it. I also had like this article from a chapter from a book. I pasted it in there. So I was always looking in this book. So the whole idea behind your Uncommonplace book is that everything that you put in here is in service to for you getting what you want. This is not a place, this book is not for complaining. It's not for talking about how things didn't work. That's you can write that somewhere else. This is about putting mood boards in there. Like, what do you want things to look like? What are you hoping for? That is what this is. So every time you look at this book, every time you do one of those daily sparks and you add something new to it, this book becomes more and more powerful. So for me, I had a ritual, I had affirmations, and all I did was I had the affirmations in this book and I would read it every day. That was my ritual. Yes, it's a tangible Pinterest board. Absolutely. Yes, you could totally think of it as a Pinterest board. Like you're finding things that empower you, that make you feel good, that make you say, "Oh, I can do this." Anything that empowers you and gives you the feeling that you can make something happen, that goes in this book, and you have to keep looking at it. Like you keep adding to it because it makes you feel good. If it doesn't make you feel good, it doesn't need to go here. Ashley says, I manifested hubby's job. When I did the affirmations, I felt it move through my body. I didn't stop each session until that way. Yes, it's really about how you feel. So we're almost done, I promise. But let me get you to what this ritual entailed. So you open your Uncommonplace book, you light a small candle, birthday or tea light candle is fine. You play your theme song or a power playlist. That's one of the other things that you want to do. What is your theme song? What is the theme song that represents your desired outcome? What is it? And eventually you want to have a power playlist too. But right now we just want one theme song. That's going to be another daily spark in the future. But you can start to think about that. Uh, because there's definitely like lots of money songs out there that you feel bitch better have my money. That could be one thing, but there are also a lot of fun songs that make you feel abundant. And it doesn't have to be a song that you hear all the time, and actually it probably shouldn't be, because we want to take this song and make it into your theme song so that it also helps to flip a switch every time you hear it. Make It Big by the Beach Boys. Okay, okay, all right. So you read affirmations or your manifestation script that's in your book. You visualize and you feel that desired outcome fully alive in the present moment. Like you got to feel it. You can't just read it. And then you speak a closing prayer of gratitude. Then you let the candle burn briefly, then extinguish it, and then you imagine that spark locks that focus into your book. And it it only takes a few minutes. It doesn't take that long. And once you kind of get a vibe, like for example, I used because it was romance, I used pink birthday candles. So I went and bought a bunch of pink birthday candles so I had everything ready to go. And I would do this every morning before I went to work. And this helped. It creates like this energetic framework. So even if you're having a bad day at work, or you have all of these other things pulling at you, when you create a ritual like this that doesn't take that long, it makes it easier to continue to do. And additional ideas include you can use different colored candles for different archetypes or intentions. You can add a symbol, a sigil, or a doodle in your Uncommonplace book each time you repeat the spell, you can do that, and it builds a visual record of your devotion. And you can just revisit this ritual whenever you need to reset and realign with your goal. So it's just about whenever you're feeling discouraged, you go back to it. Whenever someone says something to you or you hear that negative self-talk, you have to bring it back bring it back to your uncommonplace book. Look at the pictures. That's why I think pictures can be really helpful, especially if you are a visual person. But like when you see, oh wow, you see oh, here's another one I did, but this one was too big. This is how I realized this was too big. So like this one has Missy Elliott and Prince and Jay-Z, for example. This was like archetypes that I was working with. And uh, I had mood boards, and just like looking through the pages made me so happy. So like this was a mood board filled with the things that I was working on. So especially if you're a visual person, coming up with having this book that you look into from time to time, or adding more stuff to it from time to time, it it builds its power the more you use it. Anything Could Happen by Ellie Goulding. Oh, okay, okay. So now that we've done all that, let's create a virtual circle. Let's activate our books. Let's get ourselves together. If you, wait, it will take a quick second. See, how are we doing on time? It is 8:04. Oh, okay. It seemed like it was longer than it was. Okay. So if you have a candle, I would love for you to go ahead and light it. And we're going to create a virtual circle. We're now going to activate our uncommonplace books, and then we can like talk and have answer questions and stuff like that. This is the this will be fun. All right. All right. Are we ready to begin? All right. I'm going to turn off my camera so you can just listen to my voice, so I won't distract with any funny faces or anything. Um, okay, listen to my voice. Go ahead and light a candle if you have it. And if you have your composition notebook, have that handy. If you have not gotten your composition notebook, have a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, something handy. We'll use that instead. So light your candle. And we're now going to create a virtual circle. And through the magic of this Zoom room, I want you to imagine that you are not just alone in your room, but that everyone here at this moment is all together. Place your feet firmly on the ground so that you're rooted to the earth. Now close your eyes and let's take 3 deep cleansing breaths together. And with each breath, allow yourself to go deeper into a state of relaxation. Inhale. Hold at the top. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Imagine a warm ball of light forming from your heart space and moving outward throughout your body. Feel that warm ball of white light move outward down through your toes, up through your fingers, and out through the top of your head. Imagine yourself as a being of light, which you are. Now I'd like you to rub your hands together. I want you to feel that heat that you can produce between your two hands. As you release your hands, feel your hands tingle. Now we will create a circle of light by holding hands virtually. Rest your hands on the table in front of you with your palms upward or in your lap. And as your hands are resting in front of you, imagine a beam of warm white light flowing upward from each of your palms, going upward toward the ceiling. These beams of light reflect your personal power that emanates from within you. Now, I want you to imagine that there is someone on your left side holding your left hand. Feel the energy from the white light coming from their right hand flow into your left hand. Imagine giving it a squeeze. Your power is connected with theirs. Now imagine that there is someone on your right side holding your right hand. Feel the energy from the white light coming from your right hand flow into their left hand. Imagine giving it a squeeze. Your power is connected with theirs. And as we all hold hands together this way, all of our collective power is connected. We are strong. We are safe. We are divinely protected. We are powerful. And by connecting all of our lights together, we have created a powerful manifestation circle. You are no longer alone. I am co-creating with you. And you are co-creating with me. We are all creating and manifesting our desires together. And together we are now one. And by combining energies, we are much more powerful than if we were manifesting alone. At the sound of the bell, open your eyes and relax your hands. All right. Let me turn my camera back on. Okay, so if you haven't already, go ahead and light a small candle and place it within reach. If you haven't drawn the seal of focus in your grimoire or your composition book yet, please do so now. And if you have already drawn it, you can draw it again on the same page or on a new page. And if you don't have a notebook yet, just draw the seal on a piece of paper now, and you can glue it or tape it in your book as soon as you're able. Just the padlock. You don't need the square, just the padlock with the spiral keyhole. Are we ready to go on? Did anyone else need more time? Everyone good? Okay. All right, so now take your candle and place it on the center of the symbol, on the center of the seal of focus, in the center of the table or wherever you have in front of you. You can move whatever tools to the side. We're going to take 3 more deep cleansing breaths. So if you are using a candle, make sure that you don't breathe too hard and blow out your candle by accident. But if you do, it's okay. Okay, with your candle is now in the center. I have a larger candle that I'm also holding for, I'm holding space for the collective, and it is in my Uncommonplace book as well. So let's take 3 more deep cleansing breaths together. And as you do, focus on the symbol, the seal of focus. Be careful not to accidentally blow out your candle. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now I'd like you to take your hands, rub them together again. Feel that heat that you're creating between your 2 hands. Now release those hands and feel them tingle. And now I'd like you to cup the candle, like put your hands around the candle. If you're not using a candle at all, you can just lay your hands over the symbol and just focus on sending your energy to the symbol. And when you feel complete, you could take a deep breath. And now move your candle to the side so that it's no longer on top of the symbol, but still close by. Now I'd like you to take your composition book, your Uncommonplace book, and hold it in both hands. I want you to feel its weight, no matter how heavy or light it is. Just feel its weight in your hands. Know and acknowledge that this is no ordinary notebook. It is your portal of transformation. If you only have the seal that you've drawn on paper, imagine that you are holding your composition book as you hold your piece of paper. Now I would like you to speak to the book or the symbol after me. I name this I named this uncommonplace book name. I named this uncommonplace book blank. It could be any kind of name. Think of like a person, though. And now you say, name, you are now activated as my portal of transformation. Name, you are now activated as my portal of transformation. And you can repeat this as many times as you like, letting the words land in your body and really realize what you're saying, that you're going to be creating in this book. Name this book. Now, let's seal the pact by writing the chosen name on the inside cover or wherever it feels fitting. And draw the seal of focus next to it as a mark of activation. You can date it also if you like. I like dating things. What's today's date? The 23rd. 9/23/25. The drawing does not have to be perfect, which is also why we chose, well, while I chose a composition book. It's not to be precious. It's about, because I had to like scratch out my seal and do it over. And that's fine. Okay, when you're done, place the candle back where you have the name and the seal. Place it on top. And you let your candle continue burning for a few moments. Imagine the spark of fire traveling into your book and awakening it as your ally for the lock-in. Your book is becoming, we're activating it, we're making it live. It is going to be the place where you share a lot of your dreams, your hopes, but also your successes and those moments that remind you that you can do it. Book reports, different books that you like, different podcasts, anything that leads you towards your goal. That is what you're going to be entering in this book. From this moment, oh, okay, I like that. From this moment, your book is alive. It's named and it's activated, and it's ready to hold your visions, your rituals, and archetypes for the next 4 months and beyond. And if it turns out that you have to do more because you feel it, that's fine too. We'll just come back to this ritual and do it again. Now let us give thanks for your desired outcome that is yet to come. You can thank any deity or ancestors that you may be working with. You can thank God or the universe. Thank your higher self for bringing you on this journey of transformation. Leave your flame burning. The group activation portion of this ritual is now complete. Ashe, Amen, and so it is, so mote it be. If you have the time and the privacy, you can allow your candle to burn down completely. If not, you can snuff out your candle until you have a chance for it to complete burning. If you have to do it in snatches of time, that's fine too. Just make sure that your candle burns down all the way. Now, also, if you're using a large candle, you can just save it for your lock-in work. So if anytime you're doing any kind of work related to your lock-in, you can just use the same candle and just let it be sort of like your dedicated lock-in candle. So you don't have to use a small candle. You could just use it all the time. You could use it when you take a shower or a bath. So now that we have done all of this, now that we have activated ourselves and our Uncommonplace books, it's time for us, to commit to an action. Yes, we're magic, but we're also quite based in the mundane. So I'd like you to ask yourself, you don't have to answer it unless you feel inspired, but what is an action that you can take in the next 24 hours to bring you a step closer to your desired outcome? Baby step. A baby step is something that takes an hour or less. We're not talking about going to the gym and doing all the things. We're talking about doing something that takes less than an hour within the next 24 hours. I'd like you to commit to that action. And going forward, I'd like you to think about how can you do that baby step or some type of baby step every day. So now that the group activation ritual is complete and you've committed yourself to take some kind of action, you're free to go. And if anyone would like to share any thoughts about tonight's ritual, I would love to hear it.